The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Let's get on to these topics now. The first thing I want to get into tonight is this topic that is becoming very popular amongst black men right now, and that is.
Hold on, put yourself in the square for the intro. We're gonna try. There you go.
Gotcha. So yeah, this topic is becoming very increasingly popular amongst American black men, and the topic is: should black American men start dating women who aren't from the U.S.? Now, there's a very popular TikToker who is driving this point home, and he's also making his presence known on YouTube as well. His name is Auston Holleman, and I'm going to play his video real quick. We'll get into that. All right. Cool. There you go.
Guys, look. Stop. I'm just going to go ahead and say this because I've had enough of this shit, reading the comments and just talking and seeing that nobody's going to change. Nobody's even going to get the message. Stop dating women in the United States altogether. I know I said stop. Don't marry a woman. Don't even fuck with them at all now. Okay? Because the thing is, nobody's going to change, right? Nobody's even going to try to compromise. Okay? They think that you want to control them because you ask them to sweep the fucking floor in the same house that they fucking live.
Thank you for your service.
This man is shooting shots early.
And at the end of the day, I was told that, hey, Austin, you're just going through a phase. But let me ask you this. What are you getting out of dating a woman from the United States? You go to these other countries, you experience these women that treat you like you are somebody, like a real human, to be honest. And then you come back here. Man, I came back here and I'm like, motherfucker, I'll just wait to have sex again when I get out of the country. I just got interviewed. A dude asked me if I met a good chick here in the United States, would it change my mind? I'm to be honest with you, knowing me, I'm not even gonna give it a shot. It's a waste of time. If I go on a date, every time I spend money in the United States, I think about how much would it have been in Brazil and how much fucking money am I wasting. I go to Austin, Texas. I love Austin, Texas. I go over there to hang out for 3 days. That money it costs me to hang out in Austin for 3 days pays for 2 months in fucking Colombia. Why the fuck would I date over here in the United States? First, you're going to spend all your money here. And then you're going to get a motherfucker that can't even get her pH off. And don't give me that bullshit I'm picking the wrong one. All y'all pH off damn near. Well, especially if you're under 25.
He a wild ass nigga.
You probably watching this right now, your shit stinks. But yeah, just stop.
This nigga's a gangster, man.
Give a fuck.
He is apparently he made himself the villain.
I don't talk about Steele, and I don't give a fuck about Raheem either. I don't give a fuck about myself.
Stop dating in the United States altogether. And that's what's gonna make women wake up. They don't need a man, they don't need us, let them die alone. We go to another country, find you a woman, come back. Shit, don't even come back. They're gonna have to comply, they're gonna have to rethink. And then before I go another thing, I talked to my homeboy. He said, "Oh, those women in South America, they just act like that because they're basically second-class citizens. They're not treated like shit. The same shit that women here claim to be bullshit. In fucking Arabia, you can't even drive." But okay, so what? They are women that are being so oppressed that they cook for their men and they have sex when they want to and they sweep the floor. And then what do you have back here? A motherfucker that don't. It's the day and night difference. It's a complete flip. Get the fuck out the United States. The women here ain't shit. I'm calling it for what it is. If they shit, bring 100,000 of them, put them all in the group. You can't even get 20 of them.
All right, Mr. Digital, I'm gonna let you weigh on to that first.
I mean, I can understand a black man's frustration, in the United States because there's such a disconnect between black men and black women right now. A lot of them don't understand what we want and what we require, and a lot of men don't have the patience or have decided like, well, fuck it, I want to move on to a situation that's a lot easier. So it's rough, but I think what he's more describing is more like sex tourism than necessarily going across these and dating, because he's talking about what it costs, what it spend. Like, he's talking from a tourist perspective, but if we talking about building black families, really settling down, is he talking about having like a family with a Colombian woman or a baby or any of the other stuff? I think we might be having two separate conversations when it comes to him. Now, like, fellas, if you want to live the time of your life in your 20s and you got a little bit of money and you got a passport, get the hell out of the US, go travel. Go out of this country and live your best life, because guess what? When you're a black man overseas, they assume one thing about you. How did you get here? They know you got some type of status. And based upon how you moving in these countries, they know you got some money, right? And the one thing they love anyway is a black man. But once you kind of transition class, you become a black man with some money.
That's a fact.
Go to Colombia, go to Dubai, go to DR, go to all of these places where they actually love black men, but socially and they're not really allowed to deal with the black men that are there, whether they're African immigrants or they're native black people that are there, because they're normally going to be on the lower social economic line. But when we show up from America, they like, oh, I don't have to go by those rules. If this black man from the US, he just had a plane ticket over here, he got extra money, he gonna show me a good time. He might fuck around and sponsor me for a couple months. So they treat us way better.
And I'll say this, bro.
In other countries. So black men, if you a young black man and you looking to just have some fun, get out there, or you trying to find a wife that's outside of our normal like paradigm as black men and black women in the US, and they're not tainted by the struggles that a black woman has to go through the US, they're not gonna necessarily understand you the same way. Don't look for the same type of support. But if you just need something that look good, trophy wife, somebody that's gonna hold you down, expand your horizons.
Well, I mean, I'll say this, man. I agree with somewhat of what you said, but I honestly wholeheartedly agree with the guy in the video, and that's a lot. That says a lot for me, because I'm married to a black American woman. But I'll say one thing about my situation that is unique is that she was raised by both her parents and was in a household that would give you a proper outlook on how you should conduct life. But you can't say that about every woman. A lot of these women out here don't even know what it's like to have a man in the house, and they don't even care to learn. So I think kind of with the guy in the video, his whole point is they're never going to change if we keep on wifing them up. If we keep on acting like their shit don't stink and their attitudes towards relationships isn't unacceptable, if we keep on letting it slide and doing it for the sake of the community, they're going to keep up their same actions. So I say yes. I think more black men should consider traveling abroad when looking for women. I think in general, like, leave them alone, because right now they think the shit don't stink. They think the shit don't stink, and once they realize that it stinks, now we have grounds to negotiate.
So you ready to hold them hostage, basically?
I'm ready to smoke them out. Smoke them out.
So I think a man has every right to be frustrated, about his current circumstances. But we gotta look at the reverse. Right now, if you're a single man in any major city in America, that's DC, Philly, Florida, New York, whatever major metropolitan area you in, your ratio is likely 15 to 18 to 1 eligible women versus eligible men, right? So I don't want to get in the mind that, oh, it's so hard for us, we can't find no this and that. Look, I'm in a relationship now, but before I got in a relationship, I found it very easy to go out and, you know, date as much as I want, find, you know, good black women to date. Now it's a numbers game. If you got 18, 8 are going maybe jaded, hurt, or disgruntled in some way, so that might bring you down to 10. 2 more out of that 10 may not be ready for relationships because they either just recently divorced, maybe still married, they're not eligible to do anything. But you got a good 7, right? That if you have any type of wherewithal, any type of movement, any type of, you know, ability to talk to women, like you got a lot of options.
I mean,
now,
you got options though, but do you have options as far as hitting it and quitting it? But do you have options?
Not all.
Oh, hear me out. You have like you got options. Like if you're a decent man in America, you can get some ass, right? Because there's so many single women out here. But the more and more you're out in the dating world, meeting these women, the more and more you realize, God damn, I can't wife up none of these hoes.
So, well, I'll speak to my experience, right? So when I was still in the dating pool, I had women that wanted to be with me, and I said I didn't want to be with, but it was simply based upon preference. Like they didn't look how I wanted them to look. They didn't move how I wanted them to move. So I rejected women based upon what my preference was, because I had enough. I know it's enough of them out there that I was like, oh, this is a good woman, I gotta stick. Now I didn't have to do that. It's enough of them out there where I can wait to figure out the woman that I wanted to be with. I'm with the women that I wanted to be with, and I'll be honest, the woman I'm with now, she was willing to compete. Like, hey, let me show you how much better I could be than these other women, because I know it's other women around. So that's something we got to talk about as well, that are
how many willing
to compete for the men that they want based upon the numbers that are out there.
How many of them are willing to compete? And like this goes back to a conversation that we always have. Yeah. I got the article on deck, just in case, you know, people got it twisted. Black women have the most confidence out of anyone else in the dating game, but are doing the worst. Why is that? Because of 3 things: the mammy attitude, masculinity, and the stereotype of the overly hyper sex drive. Dating wise, that's great. You got a hyper sex drive? Okay, yeah, we can screw all day. But most men, when picking a wife, they don't want a woman who has a high sex drive, because having a high sex drive or having too many partners is equivalent to being reckless with your vagina. And if you're reckless with your vagina, how reckless are you going to be in my household? If you make bad choices with your vagina, what kind of choices are you going to make after we're married? What are you going to teach our children? Now, I'm not saying that someone with a high sex drive or high body count can't raise children correctly, but these are things that men think about when choosing women. Your mind state has to be there. And a lot of women these days, and not just black women, a lot of American women, period, have this mentality where they can screw who they want, and one day somebody will wife them up. Men are waking up, and we don't want that.
So, you know, I can agree with some of those things you're saying in terms of like, oh, that's you. What men are starting to wake up to, but I also understand too that as men we have to make a decision, right? Because like we're both consciously minded people, right? But I know I've decided I want to raise a black family and I want black children, right? So when I make that decision, I have to understand what comes with that decision. Now, the ideal thing would be me to find a black woman that is of a certain age, a certain background. You know, she had a 2-parent household. Her mom and dad are still in her life, have a perfect family structure. That would be your wish list, right? As a man wanting to start in a family, like, you can have a wish list, but realistically, because of what we've been through as a black community for the last 400 years, what we've been through as a black community in the last 50 years, coming out of World War II through the Civil War, not Civil War, but Vietnam, dealing with all of the things black people had to deal with. I know that's trying to find a needle in a haystack, and I also have to look at myself and reflect, do I reflect that type of person that somebody has to deal with some issues that I have? That if I come from a home that was affected by drugs, a home that was affected by infidelity, a home that was affected by all of the black shit that we go through living in the inner city, what does that woman have to put up with me as well? So before, and this is me, why I don't think black men should give up on dating their community. If you're seriously community minded and your goal is to repair the community, it's gonna take work. And now, if you say hands up, I'm not willing to do any work to repair my community, all well and fine, go off and do your thing. But I understand as me that I want to make an impact on my community. I'm gonna do the work with a black woman to make sure we're together and become healthy and whole.
So, but here's the thing, bro. For the average black man, that's a fucking kamikaze mission, man. That's a kamikaze mission.
You know why? And you say this all the time, because they don't got no example. They don't have an example of a man actually putting in work in their household. Like they do. I don't believe in believe in putting up with a belligerent, ignorant woman that doesn't understand her circumstances. Right? I don't agree with that. So if she's belligerent, she's ignorant, and she does not want to change, I would agree. Cut your losses and get the fuck, because that's just you jumping into a black hole.
Yeah, but what you got to understand is those type of things are promoted to black women in America, but not just black women. Because I wanted to make it a point today not to just single out black women. This is about American women in general and the entitlement that they all have because of the great world that we afforded them. So this is more so of an indictment on American women in general. But back to what we were just talking about, I think that black men are at a severe disadvantage because everybody knows all you got to do to defeat a black man is get the government involved, and we're fucked. So unfortunately, as a black man, we have to learn to choose to pick our partners even more carefully than your average man, because we don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Hold on. We got somebody chime in. Let me show a comment. Hold up, you out here telling people in the public I competed for you?
Look, here we go. I think not. Come on, was that necessary, ma'am?
Jasmine, you definitely competed for me. Not in a way maybe you think you didn't compete, but when you acknowledge someone was dating other people, and then you acknowledge that I'm better than them, and this is why you should be over here instead of being any other place, that's actually competing. And that's admirable, because most women won't do that. They'll let a good man walk out of their life because of their pride. So don't look at it as a negative, look at it as a positive. You saw a future in me and with us, and you pursued your future. When someone be like, "Oh girl, I'm just he ain't the one. I'm back out here."
She wasn't no damn fool.
Yeah, you did your thing. So kudos to you.
But yeah, just like I said, in general, man, I think that Black men just need to be more careful with their choices. And also, to your point about the community and repairing the community, I just see it a little different from you. I want the community repaired, but I don't see the way that we're going right now, at the rate, the way we're operating right now isn't going to repair the community, because you just have a bunch of men forcing themselves into situations that don't benefit them at all. You get absolutely nothing out of your average relationship out here with an Americanized woman, especially as a black man. You get nothing.
I mean, well, I disagree
You fuck
because
around and have a kid, and boom, they use the kid as weapon number one against you.
so I don't know though, because I see some healthy black relationships around me, a lot of them actually. So I don't want to get out here and say, hey, it's a lost cause for you. I mean, man, you got to be, first of all, they got to know who they are, right? I was able to pick a good spouse, a good partner once I figured out who I was, right? It's a lot of lost dudes out here because they was raised in single parent households. They was raised by these same women, so they don't even understand that that's a problem, because that same type of woman raised them.
They think that they're supposed to be talked to crazy. They think that they're supposed to get yelled at.
That's what they seen it. That's what
they think that a woman is supposed to be running around threatening niggas, talking a bunch of shit, getting you up in some bullshit. They think that shit is normal. That shit ain't normal.
But that's what they seen in their house. So this the thing, right?
I mean, look, bro, I'm here at this point, right?
Yeah.
The whole black community thing, that's all cool, fine and well. But if you're not paying attention, and this is not all black women, but some black women have basically turned being a black woman into its own race. We're consistently left out of the conversation when it comes to things that black women want. So what I'm trying to warn black men about is that, quick point, the first thing that the Haitians did before they went at the French, when they did the French Revolution, they got rid of all the traitors. They dealt with all the traitors. What I'm saying to you is, for the most part, a lot of these black women are being raised to be traitors subconsciously. They might not even know it. As a matter of fact, I'll be fair, most of them don't know it. But they're being reared to be traitors. And we keep trying to warn them, yo, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're lying to you. But because the enemies come telling them that they have magic and all of this other crap, they fall for it and they think that we're haters. While we're just trying to tell them, look, if you keep going down this fucking this fucking walk, you're gonna end up like this. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. He tried to tell y'all, but then you wanted him dead. So speaking of Kevin Samuels, though, I got a little more footage that backs up my point a little bit when it comes to just in general of what we have to deal with as black men. So let me get to that real quick.
This agreement is that, black.
I thought you had the damn clips ready.
Stay ready, bro.
My ultimate disagreement is that, black women are vulgar, and we come across as like not wanting to have any unity with the black man. We don't want to submit or give a black man any authority in our lives, and we're, fighting and challenging the black man constantly. And I don't think that that's necessarily, what the real issue is when we come across as being vulgar. In my personal opinion, I've had people tell me that I come across as unapproachable just simply by the way that I look.
Hold on. Who are you basing this off of? What the women think or what the men say?
What men say.
Then if you based it off what the men say, you would be in agreement. The men say exactly what I just said. No, ma'am. The men are unequivocal. The men are saying, this is what you're doing. And what you're basically trying to say is, Well, it's a misunderstanding.
I agree with that.
No, it's not a misunderstanding. Please explain how it's a misunderstanding when you say, I'm going to whoop your ass as a woman to a man. What's the misunderstanding?
I feel like not necessarily verbally saying that, but I feel like a lot of men just feel that if a woman looks a certain way, or I've had me smile beautiful, and I feel offended when a man tells me to smile, because like sometimes I might be offended for something.
Man, you
Right there. She feels offended when a man tells her to smile.
okay. I'll have the conversation with you, but you're going to answer me. When a woman says something, you've heard a woman say something like that. I'm going to whoop your ass.
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean when she says that? She's not really saying, she doesn't mean that?
She means it probably.
Okay, then what's the misunderstanding?
There, at that point, there is no misunderstanding. I'm just defending my own perspective when I've been told that I'm unapproachable because I come off that way. When sometimes it's just me just having a stale face.
See what I'm saying? They are subconsciously bred to be disrespectful. They don't even realize they're doing it. It's a subconscious thing.
And I think that maybe sometimes it's not that
okay,
women
you gonna make this whole conversation about you?
Yes.
We can't do that because you can justify everything you do.
I can.
Yeah, but guess what? It ain't about just you. So let's take the point you made, since though that's how y'all want to do, make it all about you. If somebody told you to smile and you said you were what, offended?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because it's like, why is it such a demand for women to, well, especially for Black women to just always look a certain way? Like, why can't we just naturally be whatever we feel?
You got so I want to get this clear. Someone just says, "Hey, smile," and it's offensive to you?
I mean, for the most part, it just comes across as like demanding. And I'm not saying
demanding.
That I feel, yes.
Huh.
Like, what if I don't feel like smiling? What if I'm in deep thought? What if I'm listening to something that's
This is
serious?
where we're at. We have civilized the world and done such a good job in first world countries to where women, in this case Black women, are offended just to be asked to smile. It's offensive.
It doesn't come off as a question of asking or requesting. It's almost a demand. Smile, beautiful.
You see how she tried to just make that shit offensive? You can't make this shit up, man.
You can't.
Like, can I just relax?
Can you relax? And what's your relaxed face look like? Rest in bitch face?
Not necessarily, but sometimes it's just relaxed.
Well, how about this? How about if no one said a damn thing to you? What if every man just left you the fuck alone? Excuse my French. What if every man just left you alone? What if no Black man said anything to you? Just ignored you? Would that be better?
I'd be really sad, honestly.
Oh, so you want us to engage you the way you want to be engaged, but you don't want to engage us the way we like to be engaged. Makes a whole lot of sense.
So men want you to. Did he slap me?
Yes, I slapped you. You want another one?
Classic Godfather.
Because only Black women are the only group of women I've ever heard that get offended when someone says smile. You know, I heard a Black woman who's a femininity influencer who was talking to Black women who said they want to be more feminine, who said they want to get husbands. And this Black woman on her Facebook page just went and asked her Black clients, her Black followers, hey, just smile at every Black man you see today. And they tore that woman apart for months. Think about how low of a bar you're talking about. That man didn't ask you to go have sex with him, do any sexual favor, give him some money. He just said smile, and you find it offensive? Huh. Wow.
Wow.
And I smile when I feel like smiling. I smile when I feel like I'm in a joyous mood.
Then men should
I have a man, And I smile at him regularly.
But that's not the point. We're not talking about your man. I said if black men were just to avoid you and leave you alone because they can't predict whether or not what they're going to ask you, which is not an offensive thing. Asking you to smile is nothing to be offended by. So what you're telling black men is because you're going to ask me something that's inoffensive, but I can take offense. Black women, I got to let you know, you guys are the masters at being offended by the inoffensive. So black men, leave women like her alone. When you see her, don't say shit to her. Let her and her man rock out. The rest of y'all, leave her alone. Don't say nothing to her. Don't say hi. Don't say bye. Just let her be. Because you don't want to offend her. You don't want to offend her. You don't want to offend her. You don't want to get in her space. Let her be. There she is. Does that work for you?
I mean, you're not wrong, Kevin. If you was wrong, I would tell you that you're wrong. You're not always wrong. You're wrong about something, but you're not wrong about that. And maybe, I guess, if black women did smile more, we wouldn't come across as unapproachable. But like I was saying, there are women who just are relaxing and they're not in the mood to smile. They're not in the mood to, engage in, random men's eye contact and it just doesn't feel necessary to just randomly smile at every man that you see.
Look,
doesn't it come off as promiscuous?
Go ahead. What you say?
So this is put me on screen for this. Put me on screen for this. This is important, right? This is something that women will never address, but it's a constant theme when dealing with men flirting, speaking to them, men engaging them. If it's the man that they want to engage them, if they find that man attractive, if that was the man that they wanted to them, they want to have spoken to them for a long time, he can have asked them, take a shit in the cup. And they would have smiled when he said, go take a shit in the cup.
For sure.
And that's something that women will never address. If it's the man that you want, the advances will not be rebuffed, especially if you just said, hey, beautiful, smile. If that's your work husband, your work crush, your favorite artist said that to you, it's not going to be a problem. But if a man that you don't deem sexually attractive or you don't deem in your lane or whatever says that to you, then you come up with that attitude. Men, especially if you're an attractive man, you get hit on by women who are not in your class, technically, or the caliber of women physically that you would normally go for. But we don't take that attitude. We just smile and laugh it off.
You don't bruise their ego.
Yeah, you just like, hey, well, you laugh it off because it's innocent. Like, if she try to like grab you or do something other than that, then we might escalate it to another level. But if it's just words, it's just words. So women, I need you to understand that, sometimes men, we want to punch outside our weight class. We want to feel like we exist. We want to feel like we can get whatever we want. So just a man telling you to smile, you can say, I'm not in the mood to smile and keep it pushing. But to say you're offended, but to say you're offended because someone says smile, because would you like y'all faking like y'all don't know that man is flirting with you. If you're an attractive woman, you're gonna get, if you're outside all day, you're gonna get flirted with it 8 to 10 times a day at least.
You know what they do though? You know what they do? They take those compliments and they turn them into patriarchy.
And it's like at a certain point, you got to get over yourself. Like, that's just flirting. But you have no problem, absolutely no problem flirting with the man that you want. And if the man that you want flirts with you, all these stipulations and all of these requirements go out of the window. I've seen it so many times because I've been the flirter, the flirty. I barked up the wrong tree, or I pissed on the right tree. So I've seen it from all angles. So cut the games anymore. Cut the games.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And watch how he breaks this down. Watch how he closes this out.
This is reflective of the utter lack of respect that many black women have for the overall black male image. Again, I don't hear any other race of women being offended at the notion of being smiling or being friendly to their men.
Granted, but I never hear black men tell white women that.
See, and let me debunk what she's saying right now. She never hears black men tell white women that. Even white women who are clutching their purse walking down the street, if they're scared of shit of you, they'll still smile at you.
That's a fact.
They'll smile at you clutching the shit out of their purse.
and she probably don't be around no white women.
Right.
Because I've definitely heard that.
Oh, walk into Whole Foods, dog. White bitches will smile at you all day. That's not a problem. Just smile. Oh, what's this nigga doing at Whole Foods? Hey. They smile. That's not a problem. Smiling.
Because they don't have to. Because they smile.
Suggest.
They don't have to. They don't have to tell other racist women because they're naturally, they smile. You can't make this shit up, man. I mean, I'm struggling to stay on the path because this makes sense to you.
I mean, yes.
So avoid women like this. And if black women don't want anybody to tell you to smile, and you don't want to have to engage somebody in a cordial, friendly, polite way, then by all means, you shouldn't have to. And no one should have to be subjected to possibly offending you. So it would be better for them to err on the side of just don't deal with it. Again, we're talking about somebody just saying, hey, smile. Not, hey, do a sexual act or give me some money. Smile. And then you turn around and say, well, I don't hear them saying it to other races of women. Learn something. Those other
what am I learning from that though?
How to get a husband and keep one.
So if I'm just like, okay, and so just hear me out. If I'm just having a normal walk through the park and I'm minding my own business, a man's, having a normal walk in the park as well, and he randomly says to me, smile, I should just smile at him?
Well, ma'am, apparently it's happened enough in your life to where this is becoming an issue. Because it can't be just a one-off. Oh, no, hold on. It can't just be a one-off situation. It's enough to where you actually decided to call into a broadcast and make it an issue. So the fact of the matter is you walk around with a resting bitch face. If people continue to do this to you, then maybe you need to take under consideration, maybe the way I'm approaching men, my image I'm carrying in the world to black men is this way.
Man, I really miss how this guy used to psychologically break them down every week and teach us all valuable lessons. Cosby Digital, are you watching this?
I done watched all of these videos.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Sake of the podcast though, we gotta pretend like you saw.
I mean, but I mean that's why my commentary was what it was. It's like, women, you have to understand, like, we see you, right? That first interaction with people, you don't know how I'm attracted to you, you attracted to me. Sometimes the icebreaker is, oh, smile, sweetheart, you having a good day? How you feeling? Woo, woo. It's just some words. You should not be, if that man does not enter your personal space, saying anything out of the ordinary to you, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you have the right to be offended by somebody to tell you to smile. You can say, I'm not in the mood for that today, and keep it pushing. Right? That's not because I don't know what you're going through. Your grandma could have just died or something, and you ain't in the mood to smile, or you could keep it pushing, whatever the case may be. But for someone to get online and say they are specifically offended
by being asked to smile
because a man asked you to smile, that means it's some deep psychological things that we have to work on, because I know for a fact if the right man asks you to smile, the man that you want to ask you to smile, it won't be a problem. And us men, how do we know we are the one or not the one? Because guess what? We are tasked with approaching you to strike up the conversation, to take cues, to come to talk to you. Most women don't approach men, right? So in one instance, you can't want the man of your dreams to walk up to you and strike up a conversation without going through some men that ain't necessarily the man of your dreams. But that doesn't mean you have to be offended by it, because you came outside and you might be attractive in every way besides that grimace on your face. And that man is saying, well, wow, she looks like, she could be the one, but she is looking absolutely angry. And our first thing is like, babe, what's wrong? Okay? You smile, you having a good day? Like, what's going on? Smile, baby.
Yeah. I mean,
don't be offended. Don't be offended.
Angry?
So what you're saying is black men who aren't related to you or you don't have any investment in you can make no demands of you.
I just feel like a man that I don't know, a man that I've never seen before.
So black
and
women
so, yes,
like
I
that. So what you need to understand. So a man who does not know you, if he sees you getting fucked up, needs to keep on walking.
He set her ass up, and she fell right into the trap.
She did walk right into that one.
So you're not obligated to smile if a black man that you don't know asks you to smile. But if you in the goddamn Chinese or Korean hair, the Korean hair trap spot, and you getting your ass whooped because you tried to steal some weave, a black man's supposed to step up and protect you. That don't even know you is required to step up and protect you, protect black women. I gotta come protect you, but you can't even smile. Let's continue.
See, this is why y'all want this group protection. No. Listen very well. Listen very well. This is when y'all talk about you want this group protection. You want a black man to step in. You okay, sis? And this all that kind of stuff. A black man can't even ask you to smile at him for risk of offending you. So, conversely, if there's something happening to you, you need to call your man. And the men you deem necessary enough to do something for. Because just us regular black men who have no investment in, or you have no investment in, we can make no demands of it. See, that's the beautiful thing about other races of people. Other races of women of other races, men who they're not fucking can make demands of them. And the men that fucking can make demands of them. In the black community, the only people who can ask you something is men who's doing something for you. Other than that, we can't ask you for nothing. That's why I say we can't ask you for nothing. We don't owe you nothing.
Let me get this straight. Like,
God damn. Now that was profound. If we can't ask you for nothing, we don't owe you nothing. Let's pause it right there, man. Let's pause it right there. Cosby Digital, man.
That is essential.
I think they killed this man, dog.
That's essential to the problem we have in the black community right now, right? Just like when we was growing up, anybody in our neighborhood could discipline us.
Yes.
It didn't have to be your parent, your nuclear parent. If somebody in the neighborhood that we deem respectable saw you doing something wrong, they could discipline you.
It's a fact.
Your teacher at school could discipline you. Any member of the community that understood what our collective values were could discipline you, right? The same thing dealing with how women are today. That, like he compares other cultures. Like, we do not have a code of conduct. Like, we used to talk about that on the show a lot. Other cultures who are thriving more than us, they have a code of conduct that needs to be followed. And your husband, your brother, the shopkeeper, the man on the street can enforce that code of conduct, because ultimately we know if we stay on this code, we as a people will do better. And what we don't have in the black community, we had one, but it has been lost. We have no code of conduct. The young people don't respect the elders. The elders have lost touch with the kids, and it's almost like a free fall right now. And it's a group. It's a generation of black women who have been raised in this free for all. Don't understand.
Authority has been thrown out the window. There's no authority.
It's been subsided.
So that's what happens though. When you have no authority, no one's there to instill traditions and values. And that's the major problem that we have right now. And I hate to keep blaming this on the women, but it is what it is.
So that's the thing. That's where we kind of differ. Like, it's not even just a women thing. Like, it's just,
bro. If
us as a society, like,
bro, I want to break this down, right? Because I don't want to. Of course, I love doing my little ignorant tirades, but I really want to hit home here, right? When I say I blame the women, it's not to disparage them. It's just to let them realize, look, shout out to the Godfather. He kept it simple. Women are responsible for who gets born and who gets to have sex. Men are responsible for relationships and access to marriage. The women are consistently fumbling their part of the deal. You're letting anybody fuck and you're letting anybody have your kids. Or, excuse me, you're having kids by anybody. There's no type of law or restriction on your vagina. At this point, it's clear. Single motherhood doesn't really work. So why are you continuously getting pregnant by niggas that you're not married to? Why? Or at least, okay, fuck it. Marriage is somewhat outdated these days. Some people say they don't want the piece of paper and the government controlling them. Fine. Y'all not even having babies by niggas y'all live with. You won't even live with the nigga. That's the problem. You can't blame that shit on men. It's your vagina, your body, your choice. You can't blame that shit on men. This is your fault. Have standards. All right, we're gonna do the last couple minutes when there's Kevin joined, and we get to the next topic. God damn it! All right, here we go.
I'm just a little confused. Why would I want to give something? I mean, and I know it's very small and simple. Just smile, right? But to me, it comes off as like entertainment. Like I'm just out here being friendly faced with everybody. Like I'm not saying that I shouldn't be polite. I'm not just.
Yo, look at that nigga face.
Respectful, and I know that just being my normal everyday face is, I guess, unapproachable, and that's fine. But you're saying to me that
no, stop right here.
I should
stop
be
right here. Stop right here, ma'am. The only common denominator in all these situations is food. This is why I say y'all need therapy. Because this honestly sounds crazy. We're talking
about. It doesn't sound crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy to you because you're the crazy.
I volunteer.
We're talking about a simple smile. But the level of irrational. See, this goes deep for black women. When that black woman asked her femininity group to smile at black women, she was surprised at how vicious they treated her.
They meant to say black men.
I'm going to let this play and let people come back and hear. We're talking about just a simple smile, people. Smile. But you act like a smile is busting it wide open. Oh my freaking God. Black men, do you realize this is a black woman who tells you you're not even worth a smile? Unless she feels.
I mean, not every last one of them. And yes, if I feel
okay, ma'am, and I take that. So if you are getting abused, jacked up, whatever, What does the random black man owe you?
Stop slapping me.
Who the fuck you talking to? Your man sound like he need to slap you.
Why you promoting violence? No.
Why? What do you think this is? I mean, what? See, when I ask you, is what does a random black man owe you if you need something from him? You driving down your tire's flat. You don't know how to change it. Black man driving down the street. Does he owe you to stop over? You ain't his woman. What does he owe you?
Nothing.
Right. And if understand something, if men are looking at our women, and see, the thing is, what you're saying is not uncommon. So honestly, black men look at women who talk like you and feel zero allegiance to you. Feel like they owe you nothing because you want black men to protect and provide and everything else, and you are talking about a freaking smile.
So your suggestion is that I smile more to random people in order to create
my
sort of
suggestion is my suggestion is psychotherapy.
Okay, and we going in right there. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. You cannot like the man used to say, you cannot make this shit up, man.
You can't.
Yeah. So back to what the original first video we played, homeboy, what was his name? Auston Holleman. I think that videos like this kind of solidify his point, because this is what we have to deal with as black men. A woman who won't even, you ask her to smile, she won't even smile. But like the examples that Kevin Samuel said, I'm driving down the road, you got a flat tire. Wouldn't you want me to stop and help you? Well, wait a minute, I don't owe you that. You know what I mean? These are things that they don't think about when they make these statements. When they sit up and complain about this make-believe black patriarchy that never fucking existed. These are the things they don't think about, because there's shit that men can do for you that you can't do for yourself. And you need to respect the fact that we can do it.
Nah, that's a fact.
Like niggas, man, okay, yeah, I be on Joke Time a lot, and I like to get on here and I like to talk shit and stir the pot. But like, on some real shit, bro, on some real shit, I really feel like y'all lost when it comes to actually knowing how to treat a man. And I'm not talking about everybody, because there are women, most specifically, there are black women that know how to treat men. I'm not talking about everybody. But y'all know, I asked my wife the other day, man, never mind, I ain't even going to that. Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna go into it. I asked her the other day.
Let's go!
And this ain't about nobody specific, but I said, would you want our son to date the majority of the women that you were around on a regular basis? And she couldn't answer the question.
They don't watch the show.
And ultimately, they already know. We had these talks all the time. And she said, ultimately, she said no.
Well, that's a word.
So what does that say, bro?